Okay, so you're ready to level up your career.
That's right.
You're thinking management,
Yeah,
big goals.
absolutely.
We're right there with you.
Big goals indeed.
And what better way to prep for that big management round interview
Hmm.
than by diving into
Oh,
a YouTube video from CareerVids?
okay.
Now, I know what you might be thinking.
You've heard it all?
Yeah, another video with the same old...
Generic tips.
Exactly. But trust me on this one.
Yeah.
This is different.
Okay.
We are going to uncover some real gold here.
I think a lot of times we get caught up in the what of interview prep,
Yeah.
like knowing all the right answers and stuff,
Right.
but we totally miss the why.
The why.
Like, why are they even asking these questions?
Sounds like you're trying to crack the code.
Exactly.
Like, what are they really looking for here?
Yes.
So tell me, what is the secret decoder ring for these management interviews?
So it really boils down to four main things.
Okay.
First up, we got team fit.
Okay.
So, think about this.
Yeah.
They are trying to put together a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
And they need to make sure that you are the missing piece.
Of course, no one wants to be the puzzle piece that's just like jammed in there.
Right.
So it's not even just about having the skills. They want to know if you would actually be a good fit with the people on the team.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because you don't want to work with a bunch of jerks.
Totally.
How?
What else are they looking at?
So values alignment is huge.
Huge.
And I don't just mean like, can you match the company's slogan?
Right.
We're talking about your work ethic, your beliefs about leadership.
Do those actually line up with what the company says they value?
That's a really good point.
Yeah. It's about finding a company where, how they define success is how you define success.
You know, I wish someone had told me that before my first management interview. I
Really?
spent so much time prepping for the technical stuff, I totally forgot about that whole values thing.
Right.
But it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Because you're not just looking for a job. You're looking for somewhere you can actually grow.
Exactly. And hiring managers, they're looking for someone who's going to be there for a while.
Long term.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And that actually leads perfectly into the next thing.
Okay.
Interpersonal skills and how well you can collaborate.
Collaboration.
Huge. Can you communicate clearly? Can you work through disagreements?
Right. Because it's fun. In school, it's all about individual achievements.
Right. But then you get into the workplace and it's all about teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Okay, so that's a big one.
Yeah. And then the final thing is your long-term potential.
Okay.
Are you looking for just a stepping stone?
Right.
Or is this somewhere you could see yourself building a future?
Right, because they want to know that you're invested in their success just as much as you want them to be invested in you.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the why, the four things that they're looking for.
The why.
Now let's get into the how.
The how.
How do you actually show them these things in an interview?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so we've talked about what they're looking for in those management interviews.
Right.
Now, for the million-dollar question.
Yeah, hit me.
How do you actually show them you've got what it takes?
Okay, so let's start with a classic.
Why do you want to work for this company?
Oh, yeah. Everyone's heard that one.
Right. But nailing this question is so crucial.
Because it's so easy to fall into that trap of just giving the generic textbook answer.
Totally.
And nobody wants to hear that.
No, they want to see that you've done your research.
Okay.
That you get what they're about.
So how do you do that?
Okay. So remember how we were talking about values alignment?
Yeah.
This is where you bring it home.
Show them you're a good fit.
Exactly. Let's say you're interviewing at a company.
Yeah.
And they're really big on sustainability.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, oh, I care about the environment.
Right, which everyone says.
Exactly. You could talk about how much you admire their recent initiative
Okay.
to reduce their carbon footprint or something.
Yeah, that's way better.
It shows them you're paying attention.
You're not just there for any job.
Exactly. It's about finding a company where you actually connect with their mission.
Okay, so that's a good one.
Right.
What about that question? How do you handle situations where your decisions are challenged?
Oh, that's a tricky one.
Because it feels like they're trying to get you to be defensive.
Totally. But as a manager, being able to navigate disagreements,
Right.
that's key.
So how do you answer that one without sounding like you're just trying to avoid conflict?
Okay. So again, think about it. They're not trying to trip you up.
Yeah.
They want to see how you think.
Okay.
So instead of getting defensive,
Right.
talk about your process for listening to different perspectives,
Yeah.
weighing the pros and cons.
So it's not about being right or wrong. It's about finding the best solution for everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can even use a phrase like, I see disagreements as an opportunity for growth and innovation.
Ooh, I like that.
It shows them you're open to different ideas.
Okay, that's a good one.
And then there's the motivation question.
What motivates you? Oh man, that was tough.
It can be, but here's the thing.
Yeah,
Everyone wants to hear something more inspiring than a steady paycheck, right?
for sure.
So this is your chance to connect your own personal drive
Okay.
to the things that benefit the company.
So like achieving big goals, developing your team.
Exactly. Those are the things that get hiring managers excited.
Okay, so it's all about showing them how your motivations
Yeah.
align with their goals.
Exactly.
Okay.
That makes sense. All right, let's talk about behavioral questions.
Okay.
These are the ones where you really need to tell a story.
Story time.
Yeah, like a classic one is, tell me about a time you worked as part of a team.
Teamwork, the most important thing.
Right, and this is where the STAR method comes in.
STAR method is that like the situation, task, action, result.
You got it.
Okay, I've used that before.
It's a lifesaver.
It really helps you stay on track
Exactly, because you're forced to focus on the key elements of the story.
and not just ramble,
Exactly.
which I'm very guilty of.
We've all been there.
So you choose a story that really highlights those skills.
Yes, and the qualities that they're looking for in a manager.
Okay, so like if they want someone who's good at resolving conflict.
Right, you talk about a time you handled a disagreement within your team.
Okay, now it's all about connecting the dots.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like they want to know you can handle those tough conversations.
Exactly, and that you don't just like run to your own manager every time there's a problem.
Right, you got to show them you can handle it.
So instead of dodging the question or pointing fingers,
Okay,
talk about how you would actually address the conflict.
head on.
Yeah, you could say something like, I'm all about open communication. So if I had a conflict with a coworker,
Yeah,
I would first try to see things from their perspective.
okay.
And then we could work together to find a solution that works for everybody.
So it's not just about being right.
Yep.
It's about finding that common ground.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, you're not just managing projects and deadlines.
Right, you're managing people.
Exactly, and people are way more complex.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so we've covered team fit values, conflict motivation.
It's a lot.
There's one more big one, though.
Hit me.
Change, because the business world is constantly changing.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to want to know that you can adapt.
Right, because who wants a manager who's stuck in their ways?
Nobody, that's for sure.
So when they ask you something like, describe a situation where you had to adapt to a significant change,
Okay.
that's your time to shine.
If you can actually give a good example.
Like maybe you had to implement a whole new software system
Oh, yeah.
and you really took the initiative to learn the ins and outs. You helped your colleagues.
You were like the office hero.
Exactly. You want to show them that you're flexible, you're willing to learn new things.
Because that's how you grow.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about another essential skill for managers,
Okay, lay it on me.
prioritization.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because when you're juggling multiple projects,
Deadlines, emails.
it's a lot.
Knowing how to prioritize is everything.
So when they ask you, how do you prioritize your tasks when you're managing a million things at once?
Okay.
You got to have a system.
Like a color-coded spreadsheet
I love it.
or just like a good old-fashioned to-do list.
Whatever works. Right?
Exactly, as long as you can prove you won't drop the ball.
And don't be afraid to mention any tools or techniques you use.
Yeah, like project management software.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about staying organized. What about when things don't go according to plan?
Ah, yes, the inevitable challenges.
Because let's face
It
it,
happens.
everyone faces challenges in their career.
So when they ask you, tell me about a time you faced a major challenge,
Okay.
they're not trying to make you relive your worst nightmare.
Right.
They want to see how you handle those curveballs.
So what are they looking for?
They want to see your problem-solving skills in action.
Okay.
So again, think back to the STAR method.
Situation, task, action, result.
You got it.
Okay, so choose a challenge that really put those skills to the test.
And focus on the actions you took and the positive outcome.
So it's all about showing them you can handle the pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that you can think creatively to find solutions.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about that question about management style?
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Because you want to be honest about what works for you,
Right.
but you also don't want to limit yourself.
Exactly. It's a balancing act.
So how do you strike that balance?
Well, instead of focusing on specific management styles,
Okay.
talk about the qualities that make a great manager.
Like clear communication,
Yes,
giving good feedback.
exactly. Things like that.
So you could say something like, I really thrive in environments where there's open communication.
Yes.
And where people feel comfortable sharing their ideas.
I love that it shows them that you value collaboration.
All right, so we're nearing the end of the interview, and they hit you with the classic.
What's that?
Do you have any questions for us?
Yes. The question that can either make or break you.
Because this is your chance to flip the script.
Turn the tables.
Show them you're not just there for any job.
You're there for the right job.
This is where those insightful questions come in.
Exactly like we talked about earlier.
Ones that show you've done your research and you're already thinking about how you can make a real impact.
Yes. Ask about the company's vision for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some of the challenges they're facing.
Or even specific projects you could contribute to.
Exactly. It shows them you're already thinking ahead.
And that you're not afraid to take initiative.
Because remember, you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you.
It's all about finding the right fit.
Exactly. So go beyond the surface level. Ask those questions that show you're genuinely interested.
And that you're in it for the long haul.
Okay, so to wrap things up,
Yeah.
remember, you've got this.
You have the skills, the experience, and now you have the insights to absolutely crush that interview.
Show them who you are.
Be yourself.
Ask great questions.
And don't forget to dive deep.
Until next time.